Good evening, everybody, and welcome to downtown Tulsa, where the Tulsa Roughnecks are in uncharted territory. They are already in the playoffs. Who they will meet remains to be seen. Everything will unfold as they come into this 14, 13 and 4 against the Colorado Springs Switchback 11, 12 and 8. The Switchbacks have won their last two games. They can improve to 44 points, but they will only finish ninth. They cannot make the playoffs. There is a slight breeze blowing tonight in downtown Tulsa, but as you can see, the Roughnecks on 46 points. They cannot finish above sixth. Who they will play? Well, will it be San Antonio? Will it be Reno? Swope Park have finished their season, their regular season, and they are finishing in fourth. Phoenix Rising there in fifth. They would need a 9-goal swing to finish in fourth place tonight. It is the Tulsa Roughnecks then against the Colorado Switchbacks FC. These two have met way back here on the opening day of the season. A game that was given in the end to the Switchbacks. There is downtown Tulsa, there is Ugarte and Fabian Serda. The Roughnecks have made 4 changes. Those two gentlemen you can see in the shot, they drop to the bench. Colin Fernandez is out, serving a 1-match suspension. In comes Jacori Hayes. Ian Svan comes in up front. Moja Dama will make a start alongside Bradley Bouchoir. And there is a start for the goalkeeper, Brian Byers, who will be between the sticks for the Roughnecks. As I said, 4 changes to the Roughnecks lineup. And as for the Switchbacks, well, in comes Pawati in goal. Josh Phillips at the heart of the defence. Jordan Burt will come into the midfield. But they keep the same potent strike force of Freighter, Ajagua and Kasha up front. Dropped to the bench tonight for the Switchbacks, Dan Jackson in goal and Sean McFarlane, the defender. He also drops to the bench. Well, we're all set as the teams come out. The Roughnecks all in orange tonight, and the Switchbacks they're in all black. We are set fair for this one, the last day of the regular season here in the USL. All will be revealed tonight, and then tomorrow, because Oklahoma City Energy have a game against Seattle Sounders tomorrow. There's Dave Vaudreuil in the suit and the tie. He knows that his side will be playing next weekend in the playoffs. There's Lloyd Kinnear, his assistant. David Vaudreuil, the first coach to take the Roughnecks into the playoffs. We're set fair here. The weather forecast, the temperature at kickoff is 89 degrees. The official weather forecast brought to you by the News on 6 meteorologist Travis Meyer and the Oklahoma weather experts. We'll take a break. Your first half and more after this break. It's 6th versus 9th here in downtown Tulsa. The Tulsa Roughnecks will be playing in the playoffs next weekend. The Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC can only finish as high as 9th. They can improve to 44 points. They've won their last two. They pushed it so hard, but unfortunately we're relying on other teams, one being the Tulsa Roughnecks, who secured their playoff place with a 1-0 win over Seattle Sounders FC last week. A goal in the 14th minute from Christian T. The officials and the captains. The officials tonight, the referee is Eric Tadashul, assistants Ryan Cook and Michael Capp, and the fourth official tonight is Curtis Mayo. There is Dave Wottrell giving the last few thoughts to his team. There's Ja'Cory Hayes, who's come back into the lineup. He will be playing as one of the middle two. The Roughnecks line up 4-2-3-1. The Switchbacks with their familiar 4-3-3 formation. And all will be revealed tonight as the players get ready for this one. No pressure really on either team. Both teams will want to win this one, and the Switchbacks finished their season on somewhat of a high, of course disappointed not making the playoffs. The Roughnecks will want to win to keep things moving forward for whoever they should meet in the playoffs. Lots of ifs and buts. If the Roughnecks win tonight, they will definitely finish 6th, regardless of what Sacramento Republic do. They play at Reno later on tonight, and Oklahoma City finish their season tomorrow, and they play another team that will not be in the playoffs, and that is one Seattle Sounders 2, who were here in Tulsa last weekend. There's Juan Pablo Caffa, who's so important to the Roughnecks cause. Got one of the goals of the week for that strike in Phoenix with that trusty left foot. There's Ian Swan-Tussen, and there is an important night for Brian Byers, the number 16, the goalkeeper there. Away down at the far end, Fabian Serda is on the bench. Byers hasn't had too many starts this season, so important night for him. There's Ian Swan-Tussen in the background there. Lost all the long hair, so a short haircut for him as he prepares with the Roughnecks for the playoffs. It's going to be Colorado to get us underway tonight in this one. And as I said, it's 89 degrees officially. It's a beautiful night, though. There's a nice breeze coming in, and away we go. And the ball already forward and bounces harmlessly through to Byers. And Byers will come to the edge of his area and punt this one forward. He wants the men in orange to be as high as they can. Long ball then up into the night sky. There's Jaime Ayala. He'll be playing at right back. Kosuke Kimura is at left back, and it is a throw-in to the right back, Jaime Ayala, for the Tulsa Roughnecks. Some 15 yards inside the Switchbacks half, down the Tulsa right. Here's Caffa. Easily shrugged off it, though. And then there's an effort there from Ayala, which goes harmlessly over, and nothing for the Cameroonian Moiti Puati to do. There is Ayala with a big smile on his face. And Puati it is who will take the goal kick. Again, he waves forward his troops. And here it is, drives it towards the right-hand side to Sean Chin, the former San Antonio man. Now here's Christian Tieryoung, goal scorer last week, trying to thread a ball for Joey Calistri, but cut out by Chin, who goes back to Puati. Can't pick it up, of course, and clears it forward. Jadama's underneath that one. In the midfield was Jordan Burt. And here's Chin again, right-footed ball. Jordan Burt again, spins the ball out to the right-hand side. Now here's a run from the Argentinian, Juan Pablo Caffa. Tries to go round the defender, nothing doing there. Throw in though for Kosuke Kimura for the home side. The Tulsa Roughnecks currently sitting in 6th place in the USL. Here's Bradley Bourgeois. Long ball forward, looking for Swantusset. There's Sean Chin to tidy things up, and out comes keeper Puati. And nothing doing at all for the Tulsa Roughnecks there. 0-0 the score. And we've played just over 2 minutes. Thank you for your company here at ONEOK Field, Tulsa, Oklahoma. As the ball is played through by the Switchbacks and nothing doing at all. And Jadama brings it away. The Switchbacks have it back. And then it's given away needlessly. And here's Jaime Ayala then for the Roughnecks. Ja'Cory Hayes gets his first action of the night. Gives the ball away. And then wins it back again. Chin steps in. Sean Chin continues his run. Right-footed cross into the box. Work to do here for the defence. Goes back here to Suggs. Suggs with a blocked by Levin. And away it will go by Calistri, but just given away. And a good start from Colorado, as they still bang on the door here. And Byers takes his first catch, and there's an injury. And there will be a break in play here. And it gives me a chance to bring in my good friend Jeremy Poplin with the score at 0-0. And we've just played just less than 4 minutes, Pop, and nothing doing for either side.
Well, and just underway here, which is interesting to see how this one ultimately ends up playing out when you have a team like Tulsa, who's already capitalized their opportunity and cemented their spot here in the USL. And Colorado Springs, as Coach Vaught said this past week, you know, hopefully vying for player contracts next season, trying to set that tone, that foundation for the 2018 season inside of USL.
Yes, there's nothing really, is there, doing for either side here. I mean, the Roughnecks obviously want to win because they want to secure 6th place and then wait and see who they will play. Will it be San Antonio? Will it be Reno? And Colorado, of course, you just want to, having won the last 2 games, they want to go out on a high. They can only finish 9th, as we said in the introduction. So it could play out to be a very open attacking game.
Things have opened up a bit here for the Roughnecks. Good long ball played in over the top, unable to sneak in over the top there, as it was Christian Tieryoung on the run, and a well-timed ball there from Juan Pablo Caffa, just unable to have enough lift on it to reach over the top of that defender on the outside. The Roughnecks aren't done here. Contact there in the middle, and referee says the last touch there from Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC, and the Roughnecks will go early here with the throw.
Yeah, good probing there. No flag here from the linesman as well, as Calistri goes down the left-hand side. Be interesting as well, Pop, with the Roughnecks making 4 changes to their lineup. Obviously, we know Colin Fernandez has been suspended for 1 game, but Ja'Cory Hayes comes in for him. Interesting that Byers gets the nod in goal. And, of course, Ian Swantusson back in up front. But Christian Tieryoung, who, in my opinion, played extremely well last week, he gets the nod as well in that the right-hand side of the 3 behind Swantusson.
Well, and Tieryoung is a guy, Dave, that has played well in several different spots that we've seen him in, whether, you know, we thought at one time this year he played the 10 magnificently. He's played several other spots on the field. That shows you the confidence that Coach Vaught has in Tieryoung, and that's one thing. He had conversations as Colorado Springs here with some nice build-up. Here's a little curling ball towards the back post. That is there. The defender quick to make sure that he got there in front of that run on the back post. Byers has it easily, and will come away clean here for the Roughnecks, but a well-played ball in. I believe that was from Suggs, curling in towards the back post.
Yeah, Josh Suggs, who made the USL Team of the Week, and he is the captain here tonight. A really good player, a solid player. He's had a good season for the Colorado side, and in the end, it was Kosuke who came in there with the header back to Byers.
Colorado now with another deep probe to the middle of the field, surrounded there by Roughnecks players, knocked away at the last moment. Outlet pass to Kaffa. Here's a long ball, and the assistance flag will be raised. Really no doubt about that one at all here in the 8th minute here from ONEOK.
Yeah, no doubt at all there. Swantussen just going a little bit early there, but of course we know he's the number 9, even though he wears 19, the position, I should say, number 9 up front, with those 3 in behind. But looking forward to seeing this front 3 as well of Colorado, of Kasha, Jakwa and Freighter. The potent 3 they are.
A little bit of space here from the outside. Nice step over move, trying to attack again on an angle. That Roughnecks back line settled to the square ball to the outside, dribbling towards the center of the pitch. It was a give. Here's a blast from distance. That one was covered there by Byers, but Burt sends that one screaming over the top of the bar. And Switchbacks, Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC, are turned away here in the 9th minute.
Yeah, good strike from Jordan Burt. He scored 6 goals this season. We'll see again on the replay. Gets in the right-footed shot there, and he had Byers just scrambling a little bit there, Pop, just over the top.
Just started to rise, and a little bit too much on it there at the very end, but a well-driven ball from Jordan Burt. And, you know, I alluded to this during the Pop and Vod show this past week, and I think it was more of maybe a fan sentiment. The fanboy in me came out, Dave Saunders, and you get this sense with the Roughnecks coming in here that they feel like they owe Colorado Springs one with what happened at the beginning of the year. And then you go on the road, and Coach Vaudreuil has mentioned numerous times how difficult it was for them to play at altitude and to adjust to altitude. And coming in here this evening with, you know, still quite a bit on the line. There's a nice header there inside the box, bouncing freely, trickles to the outside. Ayala has it. Driven ball off the back of the defender. Tyryoung now will fight back before it gets to the touchline. Ayala turns, square ball, finds Jacori. Jacori now turning in space, leaves it there. It's Kaffa, steps over. Brilliant balls in space here from the Roughnecks, settled by Tyryoung. Keeping possession of the ball here is Tulsa. Ayala unlucky there, trips and lands on the ball, and this will be in favor of Switchbacks FC now. But nice movement there from the Roughnecks, not only in space but with the ball here as we have 10 minutes officially gone at ONEOK in downtown Tulsa. Yeah,
just coming back to your point about, you know, it seems like yesterday, doesn't it, Pop, that we had the opening game here, ONEOK between these two, and you're absolutely right. It's almost like, you know, they're still smarting from that one, and it's interesting how it's played out. I mean, Colorado have really impressed me in the last couple of games, especially where they've had those wins and just missed out, and it's frustrating for them, of course. But, you know, they'll want to do something that they weren't able to do on that opening day, although they got the points, didn't they? They were the losers on that night.
No, you're right. I thought that they've shown great signs of resiliency with their win over Orange County. Byers way out, has it easily. Their 1-0 win there in Sacramento. Ultimately, they're going to look back on that loss to Swope Park back on the 23rd, and that too. And we talk a lot of times about leaving points on the table. I felt like Liverpool left 2 points on the table this morning against Manchester. See, it took me all of 3 minutes to get my Liverpool rant in. But I felt like that Liverpool leaves 2 points on the table, and when you go back and you look down just the last handful of games, you know, leaving 2 points on the table at Seattle in that 1-1 draw. You know, leaving points on the table in that 2-2 draw with Sacramento as well. Those start to catch up with you, but I have been impressed with the way that they've continued to fight. And an opportunity cutting to the left. Ooh, that was between 2 defenders, and somehow Freighter was able to maintain possession, just missed wide of the post. And Frater looked like that he took plenty of time because he had the ball in space and immediately went on the attack. And the Roughnecks fortunate here with the goal kick.
Yeah, Frater's top goal scorer, isn't he? The Jamaican with 10, and then you add to that AJ with 4 and Cassia with 7. You know, you got 21 goals between the front 3, and then Jordan Burton midfield with 6, and Vera Colink with 2. You know, there's goals from everywhere in this team. It's the Roughnecks are going to have to defend really, really well tonight.
Bourgeois kept it on the boot for a few seconds longer. He was trying to look to see exactly where he could slot the ball into. Good ball dumped into the channel towards the corner. Roughnecks on top of it, cutting to the inside. Jacori looking there and coming off the line. Easy there for the keeper, has it.
Yeah, Puate there, nice catch from him, but only needed a little touch from Swantusson. That was in the back of the net. Swantusson was saying to the referee he got a push, but I was saying last week, excuse me, to the viewers looking in on that one, that Swantusson likes a good physical battle, and he had one. He got a bit frustrated a couple of weeks ago, but he's got a battle on tonight, and he will battle all night, as we know.
Searching ball forward there, knocked down from the center circle from Juan Pablo Caffa. Here comes Switchbacks FC with Suggs. Another curling ball. This one, though, dumps into space. Had an offensive player that made the late run. That was Frater. That was in the vicinity. This will be a throw-in now. Here deep in the far corner at ONEOK Field. Jeremy Poplin and Dave Saunders with you. Thank you to those of you watching, not only on YouTube, but on Cox YourView 1334 as well. Roughnecks trying to solidify their spot, hoping to come away with that number 6 spot here in the West, already clinching their spot in the USL playoffs. Well, fancy footwork there. Svantusson. Tyr Young now has his hands full. That's a win there in the center of the pitch from Josh Phillips. Just was able to take it away from Tyr Young.
Yeah, Tyr Young makes that run from right down the center, doesn't he, so well, and that's really how he got the goal against Seattle last week.
Cashier was calling for it there, but hit back towards Brian Byers. Cashier wanted that ball dropped to him. Svantusson's not going to be able to catch up to this one in enough time. Took me a minute to recognize Ian with the shorter locks, the long flowing mane.
Yeah, all gone. Ready for playoffs.
Little playoff new look. I was looking down my roster and I didn't think that the Roughnecks had signed anyone.
Yeah, I spotted it when he was walking out. It was interesting sight. If those of you who don't know Ian Swantusson, he's had long flowing locks all season.
On the counter, here comes Switchbacks FC. Shot there with the left, deflected off, still finds its way onto the boot. Turned away. Suggs now with Tyr Young. Little shove there from Tyr Young. Suggs got away from him. That's a great run into the box and turn. Somehow was able to get the cross off. That's Suggs. Just a diagonal run from Suggs, and then that one is out of his reach. Ayala has pressure coming on him. Turns, looks, finds Svantusson. Hack there from behind. That's Phillips. Ajekwa.
I've been very impressed by Colorado, the way they've started this game. The Roughnecks have really had to soak up the pressure. We know they're a very attacking 4-3-3 formation, but I've been very impressed with the way they knock the ball around. It's going to be a tough night for the Roughnecks defense.
Levin, who's been a great signing here for the Roughnecks. 17th minute, still scoreless. Soccer fans, Nike is the official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. Poate, easy. There in front of Tyr-Young. Will roll it a few feet in front of him, trying to push everyone forward. Sends it forward with the left. Spin on that ball made it almost come to a dead stop. I like what I've seen from Ian so far here in the last few moments, because there have been times in the tendency where you lose your shape a bit and Ian finds himself disconnected from everyone else. But I've seen Ian more back towards the center line and coming back and fighting to win a lot of those balls, Dave Saunders.
Yeah, he has. He's obviously up for this one. He didn't appear last week. He was on the bench, rested, presumably. And, you know, he's come out tonight. And as you say, I've been impressed with him. And he is the big man up front. And he works so hard for the cause.
Speaking of Ian, there he is. Settled there, finds Calistri. Corey Hayes on loan from FC Dallas. Kaffa towards the corner flag. That would have been a bit of magic for Kaffa to sneak that one in. Dead run now, Jakwa has that one knocked away from him.
Yeah, good work back from Christian Tyr-Young. He just loves the game, Christian Tyr-Young, and he works so hard. He's just full of energy.
Tyr-Young made an impact from the moment that he was signed, scored a goal in his debut. He's been a jack of all trades as Christian Tyr-Young for the Roughnecks.
Yeah, and I guess, you know, I've been courting opinion, as I'm sure you have, Pop, and I don't know whether you got the chance to ask Coach Fodrell or whether he wanted to reveal the answer of, you know, who you want in the playoffs. I mean, it's unusual for us to be talking about this here at Tulsa because it's the first time it's happened.
You know, I think Coach was extremely focused on this one because he knows what's at stake. And Coach is a very one game at a time tactician. Now, he will obviously take a peek when you get into the middle of the season at, you know, 2 games ahead. I think the most they ever got ahead was 3 games. Here's a Jordan Burt attempt from distance. That one was on the ground towards the post. But Jordan Burt was able to turn away from the defender there, saw he had some space in front of him, continued on with his dribble. I'm sure he wanted a better effort on that attempt on goal. Byers has it, though. They got 3 games ahead, I believe, at scouting at one point. And a lot of that, you know, Kosuke is one of the people that's primarily responsible for looking at the film ahead of time. But I didn't probe very much as to who he would prefer, because I know what his answer is going to be, that first things first, they want to make sure that they get this one in the books. Nice ball there. Calistri was behind the defender, settled. It's Levin with a blast off the deflection, and the flag is up, however, here on the near side.
Well, Jonathan Levin hit that extremely well, and I was quite impressed with the save as well from Poate. It came back to Calistri, but Calistri must have been in an offside position when Levin struck the shot, because the rule says when the ball is played. And so we'll have another look at that one. Calistri isn't complaining too much, and the assistant makes the correct decision.
Yeah, I think Calistri knew. We'll see it here.
He wasn't off by a lot.
Not by very much at all. Maybe a step, if that. But I think it's the proper call. And I think Calistri will admit that when he has a chance to see the replay. So no goal for the Roughnecks.
coming back to Coach Vodds, I mean, that is said like any true professional coach. I've interviewed a few in my time, as you have, Pop, and they always say the same thing, don't they? It's only focusing on, you know, the next game. That's a overhit ball from Levin there, and it really is, and I agree absolutely with him. I mean, I've spoken to the fans, and of course, you know, some of them are saying, well, it would have been nice to have had Swope Park Rangers, you know, because it's the closest geographically, just a 4-hour drive. Is it going to be San Antonio? Is it going to be Reno? You know, altitude comes into effect, doesn't it, if you play in Reno? So I think from the opinion of the people that I've spoken to, the fans, they all want San Antonio. But of course, there's got to be a little bit of a dropping of points from the friends down in San Antonio. They kick off tonight in just a few minutes.
If we're just asking opinions, obviously, in us seeing every team so far, I mean, you're going to have your hands full with the top 4, 5, 6 teams no matter what here out west. And I do not, unfortunately, have the luxury to watch as many Eastern Conference games as I would like. But the West, to me, between 6, I mean, you could make an argument all the way through 8. That it's going to be difficult for no matter who it is. But just speaking from the Roughnecks, any of that combination in the top 4, you have your hands full no matter what.
You certainly do, and I can only judge on what I've seen. And with respect to you know, the top 2, Real Monarchs and San Antonio, I think, in my opinion, and it is purely my opinion, folks, that Reno are the best team that I've seen here at ONEOK. But that is purely my opinion. And we'll see where they finish up after their game against Sacramento, which of course kicks off in a couple of hours, doesn't it? Or an hour and a half, excuse me.
You know, and if you're Colorado, first time that you're going to miss the playoffs with Steve Trittschuh as the head man, and now you find yourself in a place of asking, well, okay, where do we go from here as a franchise? What do we need to change? And I know Steve was extremely upset at the fact that, you know, they've lost 5 games at home this year, where just going back to the altitude and the advantage that they should have there. I mean, he even has made the comment before, you know, that's unacceptable for them to lose 5 games at home on the season. And that has been, you know, I think an area that has been extremely frustrating for them. And again, strong finish. Oklahoma City is the team that officially knocked them out with that victory last Sunday to keep them out of the playoffs here. But, you know, now you look, it's that go and look yourself in the mirror, you know, as a franchise, as a head coach. How do we find a way to respond to this? This organization here in Tulsa, I thought, did, you know, a very commendable job for doing just that, having that look in the mirror moment to get to this point in qualifying for the first time in franchise history.
I agree with you. That's a goal kick. Ian Swantusson thinks it should have been a corner. Yes, certainly changes were needed, and they were made here in Tulsa. And, you know, Tritz is a very experienced coach, isn't he, Pop? And changes need to be made with him in charge, question mark. You know, that's up to that franchise, isn't it? There's another bunch of people looking for changes. Of course, my friend, I haven't had a chance to speak to you about the World Cup.
Dave, I don't think we have enough long enough broadcast.
No,
quite frankly, to try to address.
Hey, and I say that with a heavy heart, because we've been through that with England many times. I mean, England went 2 World Cups back in the 70s, he says, quickly thinking, without going to a World Cup, 74 and 78. And, you know, it was a long time, and things had to be done. And I'm not convinced that England have done exactly what they should have done. But, my friend, let's draw a line under it and concentrate on commentating on this game, shall we?
I've had my fair share of U.S. men's national team chatter for the past 3 days, my friend.
Yeah,
and I am completely comfortable with that here as we have moved into the 27th minute here at ONEOK. Court furniture has played a key role in making the Roughnecks players feel at home when they're not on the pitch. Court furniture there when you need it and gone when you don't.
It's a good open game, this one, isn't it? It really is 2 sides who've really got, you know, both want to go for the win.
Here's a young man with his ball that unfortunately not able to link up as Chin stepped in front, but I think the growth of Ayala, who you can tell now that Coach Vaught is more than comfortable with, and putting him in that back line. You know, I think there was a time at the beginning of the year where there wasn't a lot of confidence in Ayala, and I think he would be even the first one to admit that, even in his own game, and it took him a while to adjust. But my goodness, Dave, once he has adjusted, he has turned into quite the player here for the Roughnecks.
Well, we often say, don't we, that, you know, we look at someone as the whistle blows for the start of the game, and you say, this guy's got to take his chance. And, you know, whenever Jaime Ayala has been put in the team and given a chance, he's taken that chance. And you're absolutely right. His has been exponential growth in positive terms. And well done to him. And he's kind of made that right back spot his own.
Yeah, I mean, 7 straight matches in which he started there. I think through the 5th of August through September 17th, when Kosuke was battling injuries there. And to me, you could not ask for a better replacement at that time for the way that he was playing. Tulsa is still owning the possession here, 52% to 47%.
But talking of right backs, I've been very impressed with Sean Chin. I think that was a really class signing. It's a good chance for the Roughnecks.
Ayala with the touch, turns, fires, and the man we were just talking about, Jaime Ayala, has put the Roughnecks on the board here in the 29th minute. Tip your cap, young man. Because to settle that ball in the box, have the patience to turn, send it to the backside of the net. Juane didn't have a chance, and Ayala has the Roughnecks in front.
That is a very, very popular goal. You can see how much the fans loved it, but the players absolutely mobbed Jaime Ayala, and we were just saying what a great player is. Here it is. He just has to take his time and then turns, swivels, and hits a right-footed shot. No chance for Puate in the Colorado Switchbacks goal. 1-0 to the Roughnecks.
But here's what's important about that goal, and it's something that Coach Vaught preaches on, and it's he wants numbers into the box, and it doesn't matter where you're at on the field. He encourages those runs into the box. There's Ayala that finds himself in a position, that's field awareness, knowing where he's at with the dead run into the box. Good awareness as well from Juan Pablo Caffa to recognize that run, and Ayala has a nice touch to finish, and the Roughnecks are done. Here's Ian into the box. That's a good firm tackle there, coming back from Phillips.
That was a tremendous tackle. Phillips had to time that one.
Corey's ball just saved in the nick of time. Tyr-Young had his momentum moving forward, kind of fell over the top of the ball. But still, that penetration by Ian came from directly down the middle of the pitch. Here's another look. Settles there with the right. He makes everything happen with the right foot. Does Ayala.
Do you know what? That was for a right back. That's not a bad finish. A striker will be proud of that one.
That's not a bad finish at all for a young man that finds himself at the back consistently. That's goal number 2 on the season for Ayala, who's logged well over 1,400 minutes now on the season.
Yep.
Got his 18th start and 22nd appearance.
Yep, 2 right-footed goals for the right back, and it gives the Roughnecks the lead. I was just mentioning before the goal about how impressed I was with Sean Chin, and when I saw him play for San Antonio last season down at Toyota Stadium as we got an injury, he was playing central midfield, Pop, and he loved to be on the ball, and I think he's been an excellent signing. I don't know if the Colorado Switchbacks supporters would agree with me, but to me, what I've seen on YouTube and the other games, the other highlights I've been able to see, he's a fantastic player, the number 33 there, and he's slotted in really well at right back.
This is Bourgeois, that is down, the University of Tulsa product. Yet Chin, in his San Antonio 2016 inaugural season, had 17 appearances. Played in 15 matches for San Antonio this season. Also spent some time at Fort Lauderdale. Had over 50 appearances there. Member of the U.S. Under-20 squad in 2008. Here's another look at the finish from Ayala.
Well, and the other thing, Pop, there, we were just seeing it back a few seconds, was that Juan Pablo Caffo gets yet another assist, doesn't he? That was a beautifully flighted ball over the top of the defence.
Bourgeois is up. Looks like he caught one right on the bridge of the nose. You know, that's a guy that Dave was at one time the Dynamo Academy Player of the Year in Bourgeois, and had a fantastic career at the University of Tulsa. Was the 2015 American Athletic Conference Defensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year for TU in 3 straight seasons. He's played 2,000 minutes. We'll see here. That just looks like, yeah, that's exactly what that was. That was the back of the head connecting there with the bridge of the nose. So Bourgeois is coming over to the sidelines. He's going to be waved back on here in a moment. But here's what I like about Bourgeois is that Bourgeois went through some rough times there with the Dynamo Academy and had 6 appearances with Rio Grande Valley. And then a young man who grew up in that Dynamo Academy finds himself now, you know, out from underneath Houston. And to me, he's done an incredible job of rebuilding himself and finding a home here in Tulsa. And at the start of the year, wasn't necessarily the one that we thought was going to be the strongest player centrally for the defense. Here's a nice turn. Boy, holding him off is Calistri. Shot there that is turned away. Oh, a bit of brilliant footwork there from Joey Calistri, directly down the 18-yard line of the box.
Well, he pretty much took on 3/4 of the back four, didn't he? There, and Joey Calistri hit a shot, but a fine save from the Cameroonian Puati there in the goal. Good goalkeeping.
Levin, simple touch, finds Kaffa. Oh, great ball from Kaffa. It's Tyr-Young. Tyr-Young finishes it off. Goal number 2 on the night. And an even better look from Juan Pablo Kaffa as Tyr-Young now joins in with Ayala. 2-0 in the 35th minute. And the Roughnecks are trying to cement that number 6 spot in the USL playoffs.
Well, take a bow, Mr. Tyr-Young. But how about being handed that on a plate by the magician, Juan Pablo Kaffa? What a through ball pop. Look at this, straight to Tyr-Young. Out comes the keeper. That's a fantastic finish. Take nothing away from Tyr-Young, but he'll be saying to his friend, Mr. Kaffa, thank you so much, because you've given that to me in exactly the spot that I wanted. Kaffa with 2 assists, Ayala and Tyr-Young with the goals. 2-0 Roughnecks.
Tyr-Young looks at Kaffa and says, I'll have the veal, please. And Kaffa delivers, as my friend said, on the silver platter. And Tyr-Young with the smoke, as you can see there, coming from behind the goal from La Union 918.
He's just absolutely extraordinary, Kaffa, with the ball at his feet. You never know what he's going to do. I mean, we say that from up here. Goodness knows what it's like to play against him. Here he is again on the ball. You just don't know where that ball's going to go. He can chip the ball over the top of the defence. He can play it along on the grass. He can do anything, and we know what he's like with the free kicks. I mean, he's just a master of his trade, Juan Pablo Kaffa.
That's assist 7 on the year for Kaffa and goal number 4 for Christian Tyr-Young.
Well, Tyr-Young's hitting the net at the right time, isn't he? 2 in as many games. Look at this. Here's Kaffa now with the ball. Just look at that. That is perfection to Tyr-Young, and take nothing away from that young man, because that's a great finish.
The violinist delivers one more time. Calistri unlucky there in front of the Roughnecks bench. Coach Vaught rocking the tie tonight. Looking dapper Dan over on the sidelines with the flowing locks. The nice khaki colored jacket on.
He looked very relaxed. He was out there actually on his own about an hour before kickoff, just on the sideline. I think he had the number 31 shirt on. He was just flicking the ball around, doing a few step overs, looking very relaxed, Pop, on the sideline. And like you say, he's dressed up real sharp. We know he does that on game day.
I've got a bone to pick with Mr. Vaudreuil. I feel like he left me hanging during the coaches show the other night. He did not tell me that he was going to dress nicely, and sloppy radio guy shows up with his pullover on. I see you, Coach Vaudreuil, defending to the opposite end towards the byline. Brilliantly slotted ball that's there, and Colorado has one back. Colorado Springs quickly to the opposite end, and we have ourselves a game here in the 38th minute.
Well, it's the top goal scorer, Mr. Frater, and I'm telling you, I've said it before, when you score a goal, you're at your most vulnerable defensively for whatever reason, whether the players switch off, but that is a class finish from a class player. His 11th goal of the season. Let's have a look at it. There's the ball in from Suggs, and that is an extremely good first touch. And what about that for a finish?
That's effort. That's flat-out effort there from Frater. He wanted it more than the defenders that were surrounding him. Didn't quite see who played the initial ball to Suggs, but credit Suggs as well.
Well, we know Suggs is a class act as well, don't we? Making that team of the week this week. It was a good delivery, but what a great finish from Frater. 2-1, good game.
I've always been impressed with the 3 years that I've seen Suggs. You got to go all the way back, as you see there, Frater leading the team all the way back. Orange County, which were the OC Blues or Los Angeles Blues back in 2011, and Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC aren't done. A test towards the near post from Cashier, and it's also fortunate to find themselves still in the lead.
Well, Cashier is, you know, one of the potent three, isn't he, with AJ and Kevin Frater. I mean, they are just you know, you can't take your eyes off them. They are a very attacking side, and this game far from over, 2-1, and I'm expecting to see more goals in this game.
Came out of the Montreal Academy program. Played for FC Montreal and USL in their inaugural 2015 season. Acquired this year. Master Cashier. 7 goals on the season for him. Wires long ball. Drops in over the top. Nice give back to the center of the pitch. One touch. Surrounded by Roughnecks defenders. Here's Chikori that has Kim draped over the top. So Tae-Sung picks up a foul. Gives us a chance to remember that you can stay up to date with the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune in to USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts Mondays, 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM FC Channel 85. And don't forget that they will air the USL Game of the Week. Check USLsoccer.com for dates and times. It's dangerous dribbling the ball inside the box like that, a giveaway. Kaffa now pushed down, falling back, wanted a foul call. Referee says play on. An opportunity now for Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC. Here's Burt. Burt drove ball directly at that back line. Ricocheted off of one of the defender's legs, Sean Chin.
Well, that goal has really given the visitors the momentum at the moment. They've got all the possession of the ball at the moment. The Roughnecks are chasing.
And have had it since that second goal. Kaffa. So patient on the ball. Svantussen. Unlucky there. Bird. Outside to the touchline on the near side. Suggs, left-footed ball. Not the best attempt from Suggs, but chased down to the opposite side by Frater. Frater working against Kosuke. Numbers in the box for Colorado. They had it, a turn and a look, and Ayala is there because waiting on the back post was a Jakwa. And if Ayala misplays that or is not in the proper position, Jakwa is directly in front of Brian Byers.
Yeah, it was good defending in the end. And the Roughnecks having to really soak things up here against this impressive attacking display from the Switchbacks.
This will be an in-swinging corner now. Ball played. Byers up in the air. Got enough of it, and the clearance.
Yeah, everybody was back in an orange shirt inside the box, so the clearance went to no one.
Still not out of danger yet. This will be in favor of the Roughnecks. Levin there. Looks like he took a little shot there to the outside of the right leg in the thigh area. I know one thing that will not make David Vaudreuil happy, and that is the amount of possession in the offensive third for Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC. And they've had it in a variety of different spots. It's not like they've been attacking just one side, Dave.
No, I'll say again, with that front three, they can attack down both wings, you know, and feed the ball in to the centre forward, whoever that might be, one of the three. They interchange it. So, yeah, they're very, very good coming forward.
We'll have the fourth with the board in a moment. Will give us an idea of how much time has been added here in the first. Ayala lets that one creep in behind him. It's Suggs, slots it there, and Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC have tied this up at 2 before we reach the 45th minute.
Well, it's the 7th of the season for Jordan Burt, and it was an extremely simple left-footed tap-in the end. Ayala got caught there the wrong side. The ball in behind was played beautifully into the path of Burt. What a game we've got. 3 minutes to be added on, Pop, and it's 2-2.
And game on. And now the Switchbacks FC will be heading into the locker room with all the momentum on their side. And look who it is one more time. It's Suggs. That's there again with the left, with the service that finds Jordan Burt. And now we've got a scrum. And
well, Frater caught Juan Pablo Kaffa there, and Kaffa wasn't very happy, but the Roughnecks players have quickly got round to Kaffa. We'll see what actually happened on the replay. Levin's calming him down. In goes Mojadama. That's good from the Roughnecks players. Now, what's the referee going to do here?
Referee has the yellow card in his hand, and it will be shown here.
Well, there's Kaffa playing the ball, and he was just caught a little bit late, but I have to say I don't think there was anything malicious in it too much. But I think a yellow card was shown by our referee.
You can see how maybe Kaffa felt like that was maybe on purpose. And maybe it's also easy to say that from our perch here at the top of ONEOK Field as Frater goes into the books.
Good referee, no. I think he's calmed everything down. He just had another word with Juan Pablo Caffa and just said calm everything down.
Here's Bourgeois over the top of the Nike ball. Soccer fans, Nike's the official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. Unlucky there, couldn't find Calistri. Burt one more time. Not as much space this time for Jordan Burt. Hard challenge there from Levin. The referee is going to point in favor of the Roughnecks. Much better job there to not allow Burt space to turn. We've seen him not only with the goal, but twice have a go from distance.
Yeah, he's certainly attacking from the midfield, isn't he? And, you know, you put the front three, as we keep talking about, and then you put in Jordan Burt. We haven't really mentioned Valaconi either, have we, really? But, you know, they're a very, very attacking side, and I know there's nothing on this for them, but it's been an impressive display from them.
It has been a little bit of a quiet night from Vercoloni. Here's a giveaway. Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC. Now the Roughnecks. Hard challenge there, came out on Caffa. That was Phillips, and then Phillips comes over and has some words for Caffa. Stands over the top of him, and Ayala is stalking. Referee's got to be careful here.
Well, it's one of those that, you know, Pop, when go back 20 years, the coach would be saying, fantastic tackle, son, well done. But in today's game, we'll see the replay. What the referees have to do is to see whether there was excessive force, is the terms. I can tell you, having done my referee training, if there's excessive force in the tackle, then it is deemed to be a foul. Now, we'll see it here. Is Phillips using excessive force there? I think he's played the ball.
I think it looks like from that reverse angle that he got a piece of Caffa's boot, but I think he also made contact with the ball almost at the exact same time.
I think the bit I didn't like was the taunting, you know, standing over someone.
And I think that's where Ayala came in, and Ayala's doing the right thing, because Ayala's responsibility there is always his teammate that's down. I give credit to Bourgeois for coming in and pulling Jaime out of there, because the last thing that you want is for this one to get out of control here.
But, you know, supporters of a certain age, and I include myself in that, you know, going back a few years, you would say, that's what you want as a supporter. You know, you want your defender doing that, you know, and going in and tackling like that. But in the modern game, you cannot be over excessive. Now, I don't think on that occasion Phillips was over the top at all. But I think what the referee has done is calmed everything down again. It's good refereeing.
Fans, you can stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts, Mondays, 8 Central on Sirius XM FC, Channel 85. And don't forget, they will air the game of the week. Check USLsoccer.com for dates and times, and that will do it for the first half. That saw the Roughnecks jump out the 2-0 lead. A goal pulled back by Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC. And then before you know it, we're tied up on the goal by Jordan Burt. There's a heated debate right now between Bourgeois and Ian Sventussen.
Yeah, passion being showed. The Roughnecks want to finish the regular season on a high. You know, it's a great comeback from the Switchbacks. The Roughnecks were 2 up, of course. And in a few seconds, we'll hear what Coach Vods has to say, Pop, won't we?
We're going to go down on the field here in just a moment with Justin Gorski as they get set to walk off the pitch and head into the locker room. And boy, don't try to tell me that this game doesn't matter. There are some tense moments happening out there on the pitch with the Roughnecks as they receive a bit of applause heading out. And I believe Justin is ready. Let's go down on the field with Justin Gorski, who's standing by with the head coach, David Vaudreuil. Justin?
All right, Coach. We came out hot. That, you know, 2 quick goals early. Kaffa's all over the ball, a couple assists there, and then we give up 2 late. What do you talk about to the guys going into halftime here, coming into the next 45 minutes?
Well, obviously disappointed. Same thing in Phoenix, right? We're on the road, a huge game for us. We go up 2-0, and then within 10 minutes, we give up 3 goals. So, you know, the ability to focus and concentrate and have good composure and to play at a high level for not even 30 minutes, let alone 45 minutes. And then at the end, we let them get us off our game in a couple of fouls and a couple of guys talking after, and our whole team seems to fall apart mentally. So that's going to be the #1 thing, is talk about the mental aspect of the game.
Good luck this second half, Coach. Guys, let's send them back upstairs.
Well, thank you, Justin. And you heard Coach Vaudrell mention there, you know, allowing Colorado to not only get back into the game score-wise, but then with the physical play, little talking after it, and it has thrown the Roughnecks completely off their game, and now a chance to go into the locker room and regroup mentally. It is 2-2 here in downtown Tulsa at ONEOK Field. We'll take a timeout and come back with our halftime show coming up next. Coming to you live from downtown Tulsa, Jeremy Poplin and Dave Saunders here on Tulsa Roughneck Soccer.
Learning and attention issues. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing.
I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels.
After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak.
Meals on Wheels, coming to my door as someone who's housebound, having someone check on me, assures me that I'm not forgotten.
Meals on Wheels has given me a mode of freedom that I wouldn't have otherwise.
We're the clients.
We are the clients.
We are the clients of Meals on Wheels.
America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
At halftime, welcome to our USL studios. Storylines abound in the USL as the season nears its conclusion. Record-setting attendance, just one of the many focal points that we could talk about. It's what we do talk about here. With Morgan Conklin, Mike Watts, big milestones over the weekend. At Rio Tinto Stadium, over 8,000 witnessed as the regular season championship trophy was hoisted by the Monarchs. It's just part of a larger milestone weekend for the league.
And the big story of the league is the USL crossed the 2 million in total attendance mark and became the first North American Division II league to do so.
But it's not the league that does it. It's individual teams with their fantastic fan bases, new homes. They're setting records too.
And that's led by FC Cincinnati with almost 340,000 fans at Nippert Stadium during their home games this season. Also, Sacramento Republic FC averaged a sellout crowd each home game at Papa Murphy's Park this year. Ottawa Fury FC also saw 6 figures in their season attendance.
In total, it's 2 million through the turnstiles. It's a giant increase league-wide.
An increase of 33% so far, and there's still 1 week to play.
So the story is about expansion teams rising, teams falling, playoff hopes, some dashed, some just now beginning to find its legs. We're enjoying all the fans that have made it out so far, many more to come. For Morgan Conklin, Mike Watts for the USL Network, enjoy the second half.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color-coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Nothing comes before coffee. That's why we're introducing a whole new line of espresso drinks from McCafe. Cafe quality from beans to espresso machines.
Are you listening?
Hey soccer fans, it's not too early to claim your 2018 Tulsa Roughneck tickets. TRFC is going to the USL Cup playoffs for the first time in franchise history. Make sure you're there next year as they try to get back to the postseason. For tickets, call the box office at 918-744-5901 today.
744-5901. You saw the number there. It is time to start thinking about 2018 from a fan's perspective right now. Reserve your season tickets. Year one of the David Vaudreuil coached Roughnecks has qualified for the playoffs. Already starting to look ahead to 2018. Get your tickets there, 744-5901 or TulsaRoughnecksFC.com, where you can buy and print your tickets from home. Welcome into our halftime show. I'm Jeremy Poplin, joined by Dave Saunders, as we have had ourselves quite the match here on this Saturday night to close out the regular season with both of these teams. Of course, the Roughnecks trying to cement their spot in the playoffs, Dave, with number 6. If Colorado Springs were to walk out of here with a victory tonight, they would finish in 9th, just one spot out of the playoffs in the West. And the Roughnecks got off to an early start, 2-0, and then things we talk about all the time about how the 2-0 lead is always the most dangerous in soccer. And tonight was the prime example of that. Credit to Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC for fighting back and showing that mental ability to not let themselves get out of the game, continue to fight, and here we are tied at half.
Yeah, the Roughnecks got off to the perfect start, didn't they? As you say, 2-0 is such a difficult score sometimes. You know, they needed a third. They didn't exactly have a chance to score a third either. You know, they've been sort of pegged back by, as we've said right throughout the commentary, a very good attacking Colorado side who've just missed out on the playoffs, but game on.
It is game on, and now, as Dave Vaudreuil said, heading into the locker room, the main approach for them will try to be to get their mental focus back, getting taken off of their game with some physical play at that moment. Also having some extra chatter, so to speak, and the Roughnecks kind of forget what their goal is and their mission is at that point. So a good time to stop, kind of regroup, collect yourself, and go in. And I think David Vaudreuil will have this team focused to come out of the second half because they realize what they still have to play for.
Oh, we know he's a top-class coach. I mean, look at the season as a whole, and he's often gone in there at the locker room, and we're not privy to what he says, but you can see the way the team comes out in the second half. It's happened so many times, and he'll be down there now, not mincing his words, saying you've got to stand up physically. The next goal could be very, very important, and who knows what the score could be at the end, but they need to get something from this game just to not, as you said, cement their place in 6th place would be good, but it takes you, that keeps the momentum going for next weekend as well.
We'll keep an eye on that San Antonio score as well. We'll get you an update on that in a second. Let's look at the first half highlights from ONEOK Field here this evening. We get things started off here in the first, and it's Ayala with an opportunity early on, and we'll come back to him here in a little bit, but sends it over the top of the crossbar. There's a driven shot there as well. That's the goal that was offsides as Calistri found himself in offsides position. And here's this brilliant ball from Kaffa, Dave.
Well, Kaffa's just a magician, isn't he? And here's a great turn and swivel. What about that from your right back? Jaime Ayala's second goal of the season. But what about the assist from Kaffa as well?
Brilliantly played ball. We'll see it on the reverse angle. Here's another look. Effortless from number 10.
And at a point in time in my career, I was a right back. I'd never had a finish like that as a right back. So credit to Jaime.
Yeah, credit to Jaime. But again, you use the word effortless with Kafa. Some players can just do it, Pop. They're easy on the eye, and Kafa's one of those.
Here's where Calistri takes on the majority of the Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC defense, and Poate with the save there, and you see it on the reverse angle. He caught that between his legs. Here's another brilliant ball from Kafa, and it's Tyr-Young this time.
Well, we said in the commentary you couldn't ask for any more than that as a striker, and Tyr-Young goes to his friend and says thanks for that one, because that is just, look at that reverse ball there, and there's Tyr-Young giving the keeper no chance. And at that time, Pop, 2-0, the Roughnecks were in dreamland, really.
Tyr-Young should give a $5 tip to Kafa for that ball.
There you go.
That was sent into him. A few more here before we wrap up. Here's Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC with their first goal, and it's Frater off the ball from Suggs.
Great assist from Suggs, and Frater is a goal scorer. He's their top goal scorer, and the first touch there was good, and the finish was great.
Another one in behind Ayala, another left-footed ball across the box there from Suggs, finds Burt, and that is directly before halftime, and that gives us our score at 2 apiece. A couple of quick thoughts before we head in?
Yeah, well, just that assist there from Suggs. I mean, he is a class act. He's in the USL Team of the Week, and he's 2 assists, you know, to go with against Kafa's 2 assists. So those two have been on form. I think Colorado are a very attacking side. It's whether Roughnecks can stand up defensively. Can they get a third goal to maybe win this one 3-2? Are there even more goals in it? You know, but certainly we're looking at Coach Vod's now, who's going to be talking to them in no uncertain terms.
Before we get back to the second half, we do need to mention that Lloyd Kinnear, the assistant coach here for the Roughnecks, obviously earlier this week, and I think we have some footage of it, was wearing pink here with the Roughnecks. Obviously, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and he's wearing it for a reason, Dave.
Yeah, he is. He's wearing it in honor of his cousin Corin, who died just over a year ago now and leaves behind 4-year-old twins. And Lloyd is a fantastic guy. We know him well here at the Roughnecks. He's a great assistant to Coach Vod's, and he's a bundle of energy and always joking around, but he wants to wear that one for a purpose, and well done to him.
Yeah, absolutely, and wearing the pink shirt with the tie there as well, with Vod having the pink tie on as well. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so thoughts and prayers are with Lloyd Kinnear and his family. That'll do it for our halftime show here live at ONEOK Field. When we come back, we'll get you set for the second half kickoff live from downtown Tulsa. Who will walk away with this one? 3 big points on the line for the Roughnecks, trying to finish in 6th. We'll be back after this on Tulsa Roughnecks Soccer.
This is the J.D. Power Award for dependability. Now, I want you to give it to the friend that you think is most dependable.
Oh!
Wow.
It's just not fair. Does she have to?
She doesn't have to.
Oh, I don't?
No, but it's a tough choice, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, luckily, Chevy makes it a little easier, because it's the only brand to earn J.D. Power Dependability Awards for cars, trucks, and SUVs 2 years in a row.
That's amazing. You want something that's dependable. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Osage Casino Hotel is your premier venue for total entertainment. Whether it's date night, game night, guys night, or ladies night out, it's always your night. Make it unforgettable at Osage Casino Hotel in Skytook and Ponca City.
Little help. Brad, are you watching?
Nothing comes before coffee.
Dude, are you mad at me?
That's why we're introducing a whole new line of espresso drinks from McCafe.
Welcome back. As you see Kosuke, there's Lloyd Kinnear that we just mentioned during our halftime show, the assistant coach for the Roughnecks. And tonight, Roughnecks tied up with Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC. San Antonio has a 1-0 lead over Rio Grande Valley FC. That is in the 31st minute. So currently, if we look at the live standings, Real obviously at 1. San Antonio currently would be in 2nd if the results were to hold. Reno would be 3rd. Swope 4th, Phoenix 5th, And Tulsa in the 6th spot as of now. Here you see Juan Pablo Caffa there with the captain's armband on, and this game tonight is another reason why USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world. Some of the game's top talent, rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information by visiting USLsoccer.com and follow them on Twitter at USL. Well, not only coming down the home stretch here in USL, Dave, but I had a conversation today, and you know, the battle even for the playoff spots in MLS is pretty crazy right now. There's a block. It's Burt, and Burt has put Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC in the lead. Was able to knock down the ball from Brian Byers. Got possession and put it away. And disaster strikes early for the Roughnecks.
Well, we've talked about Jordan Burt in the first half. He's playing in the midfield and he's pushing on to, you know, complement those front three. And look at him here, sheer persistence. Ball back to the keeper, just holds up a little bit. Byers tries to clear, and Jordan Burt had a little bit more to do there, but he scores his second of the night, and it's 3-2, and Colorado have come out firing in this second half.
Look, Jadama's got to put a little bit more pace on that ball. It was kind of a slow rolling ball back to Byers. But now, how do you respond mentally?
Well, I mean, Coach Fodrell will obviously be looking at his bench at some stage, and, you know, he will be looking at the players now and saying who's going to stand up for the cause here, because 3-2 down, what was it, barely a minute gone in the second half.
Kosuke with the throw, settled there by Chin. Suggs, who have 2 assists on the evening. Again, Jordan Burt in the 46th. Oh, that's settled on the touchline by Frater. Good bit of skill. Cuts in between 2 defenders. It's Frater near post, and Byers got a piece.
Well, that's an amazing run from Frater, and I'm really pleased for Byers that he's managed to make a save, because, you know, he's been beaten 3 times tonight, none of which really he could do anything about. So that will make the young man feel good.
The smile on Frater's face. He knows that he just got robbed. He tried to check the keeper front post. But a corner. For Switchbacks FC. In swinger towards the back post. Put back into the penalty area. Looping ball out of the box from Tieryoung. Kaffa working there against Chin. Is able to earn the foul.
Well, Chin's saying that he was having his shorts tucked. There's the effort there. A good save from Byers. I'm pleased for Byers that he's managed to make that save.
The cheesy grin there from Frater. He knew. He almost got one. That's Ayala that fell down twice now as he was trying to hustle back. Jacori, Kaffa. Back heel flick from Calistri finds Kaffa. Kaffa gets the defender Chin up in the air towards the byline. Curling ball that's there. And sent out of the back. But Jadama wins the header, but now Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC will control possession. Fancy footwork from Frater. Running onto it. Frater.
He's a handful, isn't he? I mean, we know, you know, coming into this one, his goal-scoring record. What's he got? 11 for the season now. But he is a real handful for the Roughnecks defense.
He's just outworking everyone right now.
Yeah, he really is. Class act.
11. There's some time. Kaffa in space, now out wide, Kalistri. Some help from Kosuke. Evan stops his approach square to Kosuke. Kaffa, triangle now with Levin. Levin keeps it himself. There's Jacori. Kaffa on the ground to Kalistri. Hayes. That was a cheeky ball, a bit too much on it.
But again, you know, credit the opposition, because if I may make a comparison, and no disrespect to last week's visitors here, Seattle Sounders, who knew they weren't in the playoffs, you know, Colorado really come here to win this game, and they're really, really trying very hard on every attack, aren't they, to score the next goal. Credit them with nothing to play for, Pop. This is a great performance.
I think Ian got rid of that ball a tad bit early. Needed to maintain possession there for Ian, and might have been able to play a better ball in. San Antonio, by the way, has just gone up 2 in their match. Closing it out, and with their rivalry with Rio Grande Valley this evening, they're in San Antonio. Overlapping run from Chin. Good ball played in, actually hit the ground inside the box. Ayala used the chest, cleared it out of the box. Cutting towards the byline, curling ball in. Frater is there. Somehow Frater got 2 touches on it, continues to outwork most people on the pitch at this time. Kalistri and Kosuke settle using Levin. Joey spins away, finds Kaffa outside on the touch. Into the channel, nice 2 runs inside the box. It's Jacori. Jacori makes some space for himself. Went down, referee, no foul. To the other end now comes Switchbacks FC.
Yeah, with respect to Jacori Hayes, he hadn't found it easy to get into the game tonight. But that was a good forage forward. Just muscled out of it inside the area in the end. There's a player down, Colorado player down.
And he has been down for a bit. The referee allowed them to play advantage. That's for his master cashier.
Yeah, it was Jaime Ayala, I think, was slightly late right from the referee. Referee, you know, didn't, well, he's given a yellow card to Ayala. Ayala came across to check that Mr. Pashier was okay. Things have calmed down a little bit from the little shenanigans we had at the end of the first half. Let's see if Ayala was late and deserved the yellow card. I think so.
He knew it immediately. He turns and looks at the official. Referee tonight is Eric Tattersall, Ryan Cook, Michael Kapp. Curtis Mayo is our 4th official. Cashier is up. And okay, soccer fans, Nike is the official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. On the closing night of the 2017 regular season. It's amazing to say that.
Yes, and next season is going to be even longer, isn't it, my friend? A few more games, a few more teams.
In many instances, it feels like that it's been a lifetime, not only since we've seen these 2 teams play, since I think May was the last time that they played, but Gosh, Dave, I know it's October, but has it really been since the first or the last weekend in March that we saw these two teams here? Wow.
It's gone by quickly, isn't it? A lot of football being played, a lot more to be played in the playoffs, of course. But we've still got a good 36 minutes of this one. It's a great game. 5 goals we've seen so far. Yeah, I'm just looking here, Pop, and it was March the 25th when these two met.
A dominant performance from the Roughnecks, but was then forfeited.
Byers
with Jadama. Bourgeois. Nice pass at the feet. In it, Tyr-Young. Tyr-Young had his back to the goal. Simply plays it back. Turn from Ayala. Has some help on the touchline. It's Kaffa. Overlapping run from Ayala, and they throw in now.
Of course, if it was to stay like this, so the Roughnecks get no points, then of course OKC could draw or win their game, and then the Roughnecks would be down to 7th. But of course, there's a lot of football to be played in Reno with the Sacramento Republic, who've got a say in this. So lots of ifs and buts.
Hard fight there with Calistri. Unlucky on his front. And here comes Switchbacks FC. Fercoloni had it. Offsides. Flag was up early as a no goal for Jakwa.
Yeah, Jakwa's been worked hard tonight. He's been the quietest, hasn't he, of the front three, but it was a good finish, but he was just offside.
'57th minute. Ball sent forward from Brian Byers. Getting the start this evening. Seems incredible to think that Tulsa had a 2-0 lead at one point in this one.
Now Freighter's gone down there under a challenge from Jonathan Levin.
I believe that might have been Jacori.
One of the two, wasn't it? Those two battle away in the midfield. Freighter went down, bit of a scream as he went down.
Looks like Freighter. Is Freighter holding his collarbone? It's like the way that his right arm is flat against his body and his left. Oh, there was something with his shoulder or his collarbone.
Yeah, I think they both had a piece of it. I think we were both
no,
right, weren't
right.
we?
Yeah, okay.
No, but Jacori had the first bite, and then Levin kind of finished it off, as it were. And you're right. I think he went down awkwardly on that right shoulder.
Well, there was quite the contact there from Levin. Freighter is up now, but you could hear that scream that he let out. Here's another look at it. Watch Levin come through and clean this one up. Just shoulder right there into him. Those are the types with shoulder directly into and knock the wind out of you at times. This is a dangerous area. Yeah, that looks like that's what happened. He was rubbing his torso. They've only had one goal scored from a set piece so far this year, and it's driven into the wall. Go back to my point earlier that before Burt put Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC in the lead 3-2. Not only has it been highly contested here at USL, MLS is coming down to the last few days. Houston has an opportunity tomorrow in Kansas City against Sporting tomorrow, Dave, that there's a scenario which they could finish first or be out there with the Dynamo, as crazy as that sounds.
It is crazy, isn't it? And, you know, that's what makes the game so exciting. And well done, you know, whoever thought up the playoffs years ago. And I know when it came into England, everybody first of all thought, what's this? You know, we used to sort of, as you know, promotion and relegation. But now, playoffs is very big in England as well. That's a great ball.
Great ball. It's Kaffa. Just misses.
Well, you would have put your house on that, wouldn't you? A Kaffa goal from that distance, but he's just dragged it wide of the left-hand post. But what a lovely threaded ball. We used to Kaffa with the assist, but that was a beautiful ball through. Wait to see on the replay who exactly that was.
I think it was Ja'Cory Hayes.
Wonderful ball. You're right, my friend. There it is. Ja'Cory Hayes, the number 3. What a ball to Kaffa, and he's just dragged that wide.
Kaffa used that right, just that small little touch, and he did not miss the far post by much. See, they're still sitting on 9 here in the last regular season game.
And it just shows that either side seems to be able to penetrate each other's defense, you know, at will. So this could easily have more goals in it, this game.
.55% possession now for the Roughnecks. Kaffa brings the ball out of the air. Ayala, 11. Kaffa now taking his time. Finds Ja'Cory. Ja'Cory now. Referee waves that one off. Ja'Cory thought he might have been tripped up from behind. He gets up slowly. Looks like he will be okay.
Just had another chance to look at that third goal. I think, to be fair to Byers in the Roughnecks goal, I think the pass from Jadama was slightly short.
I had mentioned I felt like that Jadama should have had a little bit more pace on it.
But credit Burt, Pop. You know, he got in there, didn't he, from the midfield. He was the first person forward, and it gave Colorado a great start to the second half. We've since gone on to the 63rd minute, and it's still 3-2.
How about what that young man has meant coming down on loan from FC Dallas this season?
Yeah, great player. Slots in really well to the middle 2 there. He's played alongside Colin Fernandez, Levin, amongst others.
Played on those great teams at Wake Forest. Driven ball, Byers has it. Cashier. Pacey off the boot of Cashier, but no trouble for Byers.
No trouble for Byers, but Cashier showing what that front 3 can do. The very potent front 3.
We're usually at that time, Dave, where we see the bench up and having some movement for the Roughnecks, and there are no signs of that at all here in the 64th.
No, you're absolutely right. You just wonder whether, you know, get through this one and then get everybody fresh for next week. Maybe there's a few bumps and bruises. We don't know.
Offsides, the flag is up on the far side. Referee has it now. I believe that was on Tyr-Young. There's a shot of the bench that's there. See Rivas, Parrish G, Brady Ballou, Pasha's there, Ugarte, George Corrales. There's our first sign that Joaquin Rivas may be the one to come in. He is up and is stretching out and having a conversation there with Lloyd Kinnear. I've been a bit puzzled by the numbers as far as the percentage is concerned, that Roughnecks still have a 10% lead as far as possession with the way that this one has gone here as of late. That will be a handball directly in the center of the pitch, just outside of the arc. That was called against Bourgeois.
Well, Bourgeois is saying it hit him sort of in the chest, or is he saying, you know, I couldn't get out of the way? Let's have a look at this one. I mean, again, everybody was appealing for it. The referee was right there. Great position from the referee. Hit his arm, and I think that's a fair call. And it's, as you say, it's central.
Dead center.
And a very dangerous place. If this was at the other end, we'd be expecting Kaffer to put this one in the top corner. So we'll see what the Switchbacks have got.
As we said, only one goal on a set piece this season. So it's an area in which they have struggled. The referee will mark off. With the vanishing spray.
Well, only 1 from 4 at the moment, isn't it? Stood around the ball. Now 1 from 3 as AJ walks away.
By the way, that's not the best effort on the vanishing spray. That line went away rather quickly. Here's a driven ball that's there. And just as we had mentioned, goal number 2 on a set piece this season for Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC. It's Frater one more time, a well-driven ball. And now the Switchbacks find themselves in front by 2.
Well, that is a beautifully struck free kick. We'll see this one here. He comes up left-footed, and this could not have been put anywhere better. That is a fine, fine goal, and we're used to seeing that from Juan Pablo Kaffer. That was a fine, fine goal. Take a bow, Mr. Frater, 4-2.
The proper dip and spin on that ball. The effort was there from Byers, but not much he could do.
Well, I think changes are needed for the home side. As the player's gone down, I think it is Frater. Yeah, I think you know, now it's time to freshen things up, isn't it?
Frater's on the brace. So is Burt. And again, at one time, this was a 2-0 lead for the Roughnecks. My, how things have changed.
Well, I guess if you're a Switchbacks fan watching this, you're thinking it's just come a little bit too late, but I'm impressed with my team's performances. We've been impressed. If you're a Roughnecks fan, you know that you're in the playoffs, but you want to see your team perform. So we'll see what the next, 23 minutes has got in store, Pop, and to see whether, you know, some changes will freshen things up. But I say again, you have to credit the opposition who couldn't make it mathematically into the playoffs. They've really come out here relaxed, and having gone 2-0 down, they now find themselves 4-2 up. An incredible game, this one.
Tritshu said that, quote, our guys are playing for their jobs and their pride.
Well, if you're playing for your job, then you have to turn it on, don't you? Else you will be, or you could find yourself released. So they're certainly doing everything they can.
This will be McFarland on for Burt. Here in the 69th. Roughnecks trying to pull one back. And a 2-goal lead has been dangerous for the home side. Maybe a 2-goal lead for the visitors will be dangerous.
Well, yeah, if the Roughnecks can get the next goal in the game, then it's game on again, isn't it? But at the moment, a bit of a hill to climb.
Kaffa. Oh, the flag is up. Tyryoung was there. Wati was first player there.
Another shot towards the far post.
Sub still warming up for the Roughnecks over there with Lloyd Kinnear.
Vercoloni upset with himself on the missed chance. You can stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts Mondays at 8 Central on Sirius XM FC Channel 85. That's 9 Eastern. We also have the USL Game of the Week. Check USLsoccer.com for dates and times.
Just had a stat put up by a wonderful production team saying the Roughnecks have conceded 10 in the last 4 games. Of course, they didn't concede one last week, so 4 in Phoenix, wasn't it? So it's something to, I'm sure Coach Vodds would have talked to them about. You don't want to be giving lots of goals away in playoffs, do you?
Coach admitted during the live version of the Pop and Vod show this past week that even he had this ambitious goal of, you know, allowing a goal per game or less than a goal per game. And if there's one area that I know that he's been a little displeased in here this season, it has been the amount of goals conceded by the Roughnecks. The hustle there from Ayala. And this will be an area the Roughnecks are not able to pull one back here soon. Start looking at that 75th minute stat that we've talked about a lot throughout the regular season. Young with Bourgeois. Bourgeois now byline. Headed away. Back to Jacori though. Ian. In space. Ian still with the ball, and this will be in favor of Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC. And the stat, that 75th minute stat, is when trailing at the 75th minute mark, the Roughnecks are 0-10 this season, including 4 of those here at home. But they are undefeated when leading in that 75th minute. We got a sub now coming on for the Roughnecks. This is a young man that both of us have been extremely impressed with and how he has developed this season. Joaquin Rivas. And Juan Pablo Caffa's night is officially over.
Yeah, Rivas is a class act, isn't he? He comes on, so he'll put T. Young into the number 10 spot, and Rivas will go on to the left, and Caffa will be able to put his feet up a little bit and look forward to the playoffs.
Rivas came over from Sacramento, also played his college ball at UNLV. Had some very important thoughts about, obviously, the tragedy that happened in Las Vegas. Did Joaquin, being that a city that he spent a lot of time in. Always great to see his family as well, who have traveled to a number of games, and his lovely sister is very active on social media, as is the entire family. And Joaquin has found himself a home here with the Roughnecks, and Team of the Week back in July. This will be appearance 32 for Rivas this year for the Roughnecks.
Well, that's good defending from Brady Bourgeois there, because he was under pressure from AJ, but he managed to head it back to Byers.
11 through the center circle has Kosuke to the outside. Rivas and Kosuke. Roughnecks will have another sub at the next opportunity. Rivas keeping his dribble alive. Stops, left-footed ball. Still possession here for the Orange. Settled near midfield. Good run through the center of the pitch. An attempt at ascent over the top of the bar, and now that sub that we mentioned, this will be Calistri, whose night is finished.
Well, again, I think Coach Rogers got his eye obviously on next week, and Calistri will be an important figure in that, as will Juan Pablo Caffer, and they've been given 15 minutes off on this one.
This is Pasha Kondrakin. Only appearance number 10 on the season for Pasha. Born in Russia. Played in the Russian second division last season. Malcolm, who came on for Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC.
Well, there's been a goal at San Antonio. It's now San Antonio 2, Rio Grande Valley 1. So Rio Grande pulling themselves back in that one just 2 minutes into the second half there. There's going to be a few twists and turns, my friend, isn't there, in the playoff places?
I was just going to say there's going to be a lot of watching tomorrow. Find out exactly where you will be headed. Of course, the league has a media conference call, so we'll have another sub here for the Roughnecks. This is going to be Parrish G on for Tyryoung. Conference call with the league on Monday at 2 o'clock to talk about not only the playoffs, but looking ahead to 2018. Parrish G, the native of Croatia, or I apologize, spent last year in Croatia as the Canadian. G came on as was an unused substitute in Saturday's win over S2. Here's Malcolm. Step over, a run from Chin. Chin slots it back. Oh, a missed chance. And that was Vercoloni, who has had 2 opportunities here in the second half. Both of them have just narrowly missed. But that was a good run from the back line here as you see Chin just come into your screen. He pointed to the spot and then played it in the proper area, and Vercoloni just turned away.
Yeah, Chin with the perfect ball back, in my opinion, in the modern game. The pull back almost from the byline there, pulling it back, but good defensive work from the Roughnecks, just putting the player off there. So the Roughnecks survive.
Jacori's shot knocked down by the back line. It's hit directly from Pasha. Poiti, no trouble whatsoever, and quickly to the opposite end. Malcolm 1v1 versus Levin, comes away, dribbling into the box. It's there. Brian Byers got a piece of it. It's free. Still ping-ponging around with defenders, and the Roughnecks escape. But we'll see the replay because Byers had a great save.
Byers did well, and Bourgeois just about recovered under pressure from the Switchbacks attack there, and the Roughnecks again got away with it. But Levin was done here in the left back spot.
Byers, by the way, is not okay. Byers is holding his hand. He has it now down. See which hand that was. I don't know whether he got kicked while he was down, but he could be called into action one more time. Good tackle away there from Jonathan Levin. It's his right hand that Byers is concerned with. I think he's going to be okay. Here in the center of the pitch, Jacori plays the early ball. Chin with the header back to Poiti, and he does just enough to save it. Here's this replay, Dave.
Yeah, Byers, as you say, good save. There's Bradley Bourgeois, kind of gets under his feet a little bit, but he does well to get up under pressure there, and Levin was in there as well, and in the end they clear it.
I think that's just the way that Byers landed on that hand.
Yes, I don't think it was a kick. I think you're right. Well, Pasha Kondraken has gone up in the number 9, and it means that Ian Swantuston is actually playing on the right of the 3 in this 4-2-3-1 formation that Dave Odrill always goes with. Well, we have a saying in England, and I don't know if you use it out here, it's after the Lord Mayor's show. And what that basically means is after the euphoria of last week of getting into the playoffs, you know, you just wonder whether... but again, I say credit the opposition, but this hasn't been the best Roughnecks performance, has it?
What's that saying again?
After the Lord Mayor's show.
I'm glad you explained that one to me.
There might be one or two watching in the Irish pub that I was in Colorado that might know that one. But you get my drift, that it's, you know, the Roughnecks, I guess, coming into this one, knew they're in the playoffs. How do you approach this one? But again, I say, you know, they've been up against a very good team in Colorado who looked like they could score in every attack.
I like the way that you say it much better, because I would just say an emotional letdown. Yours sounds much better.
Well, be optimistic and, you know, be positive. And, and there's still 7.5 minutes to go. And we know this game of soccer refuses to lie down sometimes. But 4-2. And I'm sure that coach will have a lot to say to the players, whether he says it tonight or tomorrow. They'll be watching film.
Verkalodi's night is finished for Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC.
Well, that was great play from Hayes, but that was a fantastic tackle from Phillips. He just had to be absolutely on the ball with that challenge, or it could have been a penalty.
Tobana Uzo on for Verkaloni. The back line of Colorado, since they conceded those two, Dave, I thought they've done a great job against the Roughnecks, especially here in the second half.
They certainly have, and that tackle, of course, was brought to you by the new Chevy Silverado 1500, the face of strong. Yeah, they've really stood up well, haven't they? And they've done well. And again, you know, they're similar to the Roughnecks, that they're an attacking team, and so it's really important that your defence stands up well. And theirs has stood up pretty well tonight.
Case and Associates has been your home for the Roughnecks players when they're not on the pitch. You can look to Case for all of your apartment needs at caseusa.com. There's a giveaway. It's Paris G on the dead run centrally. Oh, cleaned up nicely there from Chin. Almost given back. I want to say thanks as well to Hillcrest Hospital for all of their great work throughout the year and their sponsorship here at the Roughnecks. Poiti. A little
Little flare on that.
Good diving save. One for the cameramen, as we say.
Sometimes you just got to make it look good.
Yeah,
Dave.
yeah. But he did everything that a keeper should do, shouldn't he? He caught the ball, didn't spill it. He's had a pretty good night.
Jim Edmonds action there from Poitiers. Baseball fans will understand that reference. There's Malcolm working against Jadama. Malcolm, byline, still on it. And a goal kick coming up. That's twice now that Malcolm has beat the defender here on the near side.
Yeah, and again, coach will say that's too easy and that must not happen in the playoffs, because as you say, he's got in there, Malcolm, and the poor lad, he didn't know whether to appeal for the penalty or the corner or what he was appealing for, and in the end it's a goal kick. But yeah, he's done well, that young man. I want to say as well, Pop, looking at the stats from last year's playoffs, it ended up with the 4th place team playing the 6th place team in the final. So really anything can happen with those top 8 teams, can't it? I remember Sacramento won the league, didn't they? And they went out on PKs to Orange County in that first playoff game. So a lot of excitement to come.
It's going to be a wild ride for the next few weeks before we crown a champion in USL.
And, you know, just to make the point again, you know, I said in the first half, you caught opinion from fans and everybody and, you know, who do you want? But at the end of the day, it's who you get. It's just the way it falls. And, you know, as we say, anything can happen in the playoffs. If you get, you know, you finish 8th and you get the top place team, well, that's who you've got to play. So get on with it.
And with the way that the Switchbacks FC are playing right now, there might be a few teams that are happy that they don't have to see Colorado Springs.
Well, there you go.
In the playoffs. And, you know, as we mentioned earlier, that go back and reevaluate where you're at with your franchise.
San Antonio have a 3rd goal. They now lead by 3 goals to 1, trying to cement their place as runners-up in the league. Yeah, and I think I'm right in saying in the first year, the Roughnecks were in a similar position, weren't they, to Colorado? I think they just missed out on that playoffs in the first season.
This one's not finished yet. Roughnecks, though, need to find one, and one in a hurry. Here in the 88th minute. You can stay up to date on all the latest USL news and information as we get set to head to the playoffs. You can tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts. That's Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM FC, channel 85. Also have the game of the week, USLsoccer.com for dates and times. There's a hard foul. That's a yellow card that has been issued. And that will go to Ibusi.
And of course, Roughnecks fans, if you want to wear a shirt for the playoffs or get some Roughnecks gear, then New Balance is the official kit provider for your Tulsa Roughnecks. You can find all the latest official New Balance gear at the team shop located here at ONEOK Field. New Balance is the proud kit supplier for your Roughnecks.
A view of the foul with Jacori.
Jacori's had a better second half, hasn't he? He's grown into the game and he's been more of a potent attacking force in the second half.
Now this would typically be Kafa, but you have Ayala and Rivas. Wall is set, and it will be Joaquin. Driven into the wall.
Yeah, the wall was well set there. Rivas going straight into the wall.
Paris G's centrally played ball. Jacori was down.
believe the 4th. Mr. Mayo will show us that we will have 3 minutes of time added. In the direction of Tulsa, it is 3. See Ayala there in front of the Hillcrest sign. Driven out of the box. All the way back for Byers. Well, Dave, no matter where the Roughnecks end up, you know, there have been times where even though the Roughnecks have ended up on the short end, they've dominated possession in a lot of their losses this year. They were able to get 2 results out of both games with the Real Monarchs. The win here, and then they went to Salt Lake City and got the draw. Dave Vaudreuil likes the matchup with San Antonio, has mentioned that several times. Light feels like that he likes the matchup with Swope. So we shall see.
I don't know if they'd be able to play Swope, would they? Because, well, Swope finish... sorry, Phoenix would have to do a 9-goal swing, wouldn't they?
Yeah, you're right. So it's between those 3.
But haven't Phoenix beaten LA 9-0 this season? I mean, it could happen. I think it's a 9-goal swing they need with Drogba and co. But I think 4th will play 5th. That could be Swope against Phoenix. That one's looking the most set out of all the playoffs to me. And I think it's a case of what, you know, if the Roughnecks do go down today, will OKC be able to get a point or 3 against Seattle, which would mean that the Roughnecks would drop to 7th. I mean, of course, we've got Sacramento to have a little bit of a say as well.
Still a little fight left in the orange yet.
And Colorado want 5, don't they?
Good poke away from Levin. Gamura. It was around 1 defender. In the box, Jadama.
Jadama up there, he's a centre back, and there he was trying to curl one in the top corner. Came off a defender, so a late flurry. This could well be the last chance. And Jadama, incredibly, is going across to take that corner. There is a collector's item.
Oh, spin move there towards the byline from Ja'Cory. That was a lot of work, a lot of effort put in, and that will do it for this one as the Switchbacks FC are going to finish in 9th. Just 1 spot out of the playoffs, and we will have to wait and see where this officially puts the Roughnecks as far as the table in the West. But incredible to think that a team that finishes outside of the playoffs was able to pull 9 points from the Roughnecks this year. One of those, of course, being the forfeiture of the first game. But that's a hard-fought victory from Colorado Springs this evening as they will close out 2017 with 3 straight victories. And 2 of those over playoff teams. And a hard-fought win for them here this evening.
Yeah, I think if you're a Switchbacks fan, you've got to look forward to next season now. And if you can keep that group together, especially the front 3, I think there's going to be goals galore next season. And that's been a really good performance from your guys, as we keep saying, you know, with nothing to play for. Credit the opposition tonight. Slightly tired performance from the Roughnecks, but they knew they were in the playoffs. But I think we need to, on this night, credit the opposition the most.
David Vaudreuil said that he felt like that his team got taken completely out of their game. Going into the locker room at halftime, we'll have a few comments from him here in a moment. And Angel will have the first crack at Dave Vaudreuil this evening.
I'm sure he's disappointed, Pop, because, you know, as I say, you know, they secured the playoff spot last Saturday, and 7 days later, you know, the performance is not to his standards, not to the Roughnecks standards. You know, say again, credit the opposition, but he'll be disappointed. He'll be disappointed, but now he's got what, 6-7 days to pick everything up, and they can wait and see tomorrow for sure who they will have in those playoffs next weekend.
Well, David Vaudreuil walked over and is thanking the fans, and I think Coach Vaudreuil may be a tad bit disappointed in the performance tonight, and he may not want to speak here post-game after losing here this evening 4-2. I want to thank everyone at Cox Your View for airing all the games this season, all the home matches live here from ONEOK. We greatly appreciate the partnership and being able to present the Roughnecks to you here in our very own home market. It's great knowing that fans locally can turn on and see the games, and well-produced games from everyone here within the stadium as well. Alan and the crew do such a great job with everything from not only their work here upstairs, but to all the camera operators that help to make and present Roughneck Soccer in 2017. Without you guys, none of this would be possible whatsoever. So thank you to you guys. Let's look at some of the highlights from this evening on a night in which we see the Roughnecks fall 4-2 to Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC. Here's the first half highlights, and things got going here with a offsides against Calistri on the rebound, so no goal there. And here's Kaffa, the first look of the first goal of the evening on the service from Kaffa to Ayala.
Yeah, and Kaffa, by the way, was inside the center circle when he hit that assist. Straight to Ayala. Ayala had a lot of work to do, and as we said at half-time, that is a good finish from your right back. There's Kaffa inside the center circle. Look at this. He has to really turn 180 there and hits it past the keeper who had no chance. Ayala, second of the season.
Here's Kaffa again to Tyryoung, serving it up for Christian.
Well, again, a wonderful ball from Kaffa, but if we see that again, you'll see the first touch from Tyryoung was superb. I mean, we just didn't see it on that actual replay, but his first touch just put it to exactly where he wanted to strike it past the keeper. And at that moment, 2-0.
Received it perfectly, and here's the first goal from Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC. From the outside, it's Suggs who finds Frater, and at that point, 2-1.
And then Suggs got in behind again, didn't he? And there's an easy tap home for Burt there, and that was 2-2.
We went into the locker room, tied at 2, and in the second half, it didn't take very long at all. Here's Burt with goal number 2, the brace on the evening.
Well, whatever the coach said to them at half-time, you know, it was come out and try and get that third one. Now, this one is slightly short there. It just holds up a little bit. Feel a bit sorry for Byers, but credit the goal scorer Burt. He was alert, and he put the Switchbacks 3-2 up just a minute into the second half.
Byers did have a save here on Frater. One of the multiple chances from Frater inside the box this evening. And the smile there tells you the story that he knows that he just missed. Now, we were just saying how they had only scored 1 goal from a set piece this year. And here's Frater. Brilliantly driven ball. And that is what will finish off the scoring on the night. 4-2 is the final score, again, with the Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC leaving Tulsa victorious and will finish in the 9th spot, and we will all be patiently waiting and checking out USLsoccer.com, where you can stay up to date with all the league news and information, and following them on Twitter at USL to find out where the Roughnecks will be headed for their very first playoff game in franchise history. I know things kind of end on a down note here tonight with this loss, but fear not, this team moves on with an opportunity next week as we begin the 2017 version of the USL playoffs.
Yeah, put this performance behind them. They've got a bad performance out the way now. Coach Rodrill very disappointed, I'm sure, but now the work begins. You put this one behind you. You say, okay, we'll dust ourselves off. We'll get up for the next game, whoever that might be. It doesn't matter who it is now. We know it's going to be away. And don't forget, there could still be another game here at ONEOK looking further ahead. A lot of soccer to be played, of course, but Coach Rodrill will say, I don't care who we get now. We will have to perform a lot better. We're in the playoffs. Well done.
Dave, I'd like to say thank you to the fans as well. Without the fans, none of this is possible. Both supporter sections were fantastic this year, supporting this team week in and week out, win, lose, or draw. And that's the mark of two great supporter sections, as you see some of the players signing autographs for the fans that are here this evening. And I know it meant a lot to the players to be able to clinch that playoff spot here last week. So thank you, fans, for not only tuning in every single week, but for coming out here to ONEOK and being in person to support on the Tulsa Roughnecks. And thank you to the front office for allowing both of us this wonderful opportunity.
Yeah.
Not a minute goes by where I do not feel thankful to those in the powers that be that give me the opportunity. I know you feel the same way for this opportunity to call this game and this team that we love here in Tulsa and that we call our own.
Absolutely. Here. Thank you so much for giving me the chance to do this, and I love doing it. Love doing it for the fans all over the States. You know, we like to tune into other broadcasts as well, don't we, to see how our teams are all getting on. It's a wonderful league. It's going from strength to strength. Bring on the playoffs. Thank you to everybody here at the Roughnecks, and thank you to the fans and to the players. The players are a good bunch of lads that we get to mix with a little bit, and well done to them too.
Well, partner, this could be the final broadcast for us this year, unless the Roughnecks find themselves with another home game. But I want to say thank you, Dave Saunders, for all of your hard work this season and making me sound even better week in, week out. Thank you, my friend.
Let's hope we don't have another After the Lord Mayor's show, eh? Bring it on.
I can't think of a better way to close out the regular season than with an English saying. Final score for the final time. Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC win tonight 4-2 over the Tulsa Roughnecks. Have a great night from all of us here in downtown Tulsa. And come on, you Roughnecks, in the 2017 USL playoffs.